Hello there. Hi. Welcome back to Hallownest. It's been a while since I've done commentary for these ones. But I'm coming back at you with some commentary, I guess. Back by popular demand at special request. So we're back in Hallownest. We are building. We're combining the Ancient Abyss. Oh God, where are my words? We're combining the Abyss with. You know what I mean. You know. Oh, I'm struggling today. Ancient Abyss Nature Park is what we're doing today. Ancient Basin and the Abyss. There we go. Those are the two areas we're combining. So this is going to be an actual build type that's offered in game. You can specifically build, so you'll see like the little red triangle thing in the corner up there. That just indicates the requirements that I haven't met yet for this to actually function as a nature park. And you can see I'm going to play around a bit with terrain tools this time. I thought it would be really cool. I didn't think to do it for the Howling Cliffs build. And in hindsight, I think it would have been really cool to do it for Howling Cliffs. But hindsight is 2020, and here we are. There end up being, I think, a lot of glitches with the terrain tools, and there are a couple of things in this build that end up not quite working, or they end up just like glitching out while I'm building. So there are a few things that get, scrapped, not used, and I had to mess around with this for a little bit. So because I raised the terrain, the columns wouldn't work underneath, but I knew I needed to have a couple of columns underneath. And so I fiddle around with this for a little bit to see just how close I can get that to the column without the column disappearing. Just play around a little bit. I think I might even add a third column in there, if I remember correctly. And then smoothing out a bit of the terrain. And then you'll see me just sort of come in at random and raise bits of terrain, lower bits of terrain, make things really hilly. I lower some little bits. And you'll see me put in some water features, almost like a little pond, a little nature pond. Yeah, I had a bit of fun with this one. But I also knew that I needed, some flat spaces. So you'll see me come in with this tool. This tool just allows you to like smooth out. If you want a couple of more flat surfaces, you can smooth them out and then build on them. Makes it easier to put in, stairs or anything like that. I'm glad you guys have been enjoying the Hallownest series so far. We've also got a ton of new people to the channel, so welcome to all the new people. If you're checking out Hallownest for the first time, welcome. I've done a couple, I guess I've done a fair number of these so far. We're getting down to it. I think we've only got 3, maybe 4 of these videos left. There will be an area or two that I end up doing another 2-parter on, mostly because of how big the area was. I think everybody can take a guess and know that that is City of Tears. So City of Tears will also be a 2-parter. I ended up doing Fungal Wastes as a 2-parter as well. Now I'm messing around with this here for a bit because I wanted to originally do 2 levels. I'm gonna spoil this a bit. I get rid of it. I don't do 2 levels. It was just going to be a little bit too much. It was really going to be a little bit too much. So I'm not doing 2 above ground levels. You're gonna see me scrap it in a few minutes here. I end up doing just the 2 upper levels and then a basement. So the basement is supposed to be representative of the abyss. And then, there we go, there it is. And then the upper floors are more Ancient Basin type. Yeah, there we go. And I mess around with this not too long. We just did a little funky dual roof situation there. A little something that's off center. And a little something that overlaps. And then I knew that I could put in a couple of columns. It looked a little weird. I think I end up just making that bigger. And then I'm able to put that column there and I add a 3rd column in underneath. Now I don't think I keep any of these columns. I'm pretty sure I get rid of all of these columns, but they're placeholders for now. They're just there. I went with blacks, grays, darker color palettes. Yeah, I go with these. These felt more appropriate for like a nature park. And they also seemed like they would be a good selection for the abyss / Ancient Basin. Yeah, there we go. I'm trying to put that 3rd one in. There we go. So we've got 3 underneath and then 2 up top. And then we're just gonna make it pretty much as dark as we can while still being an outdoor nature reserve. I feel like that's a weird juxtaposition, but that's what we choose to do. So I've got a little staircase right over there, just a little one. We did a little staircase there. I don't know if I keep that one actually. No, I do get rid of that because the hills are enough that you can just walk up and over. I needed a reasonable trash can because that's one of the lot requirements. I believe I end up doing a couple of trash cans. Oh no, you only needed one. but I do think I do a couple. And then I wanted like a little outdoor picnic area. Just a cute little spot if you wanted to sit. And I tried to find the darkest swatch I could. I think that ends up being that one right there. I do a couple of these out on these little spots here. With another trash can. Just a central one so that, you know, if you were there on a class trip for whatever school thing you were doing, you could go and have your lunch over on the picnic tables. I start chucking in a bunch of trees. I tried to pick trees that were a bit more on the dark side. I don't know if I end up keeping that one tree that's currently there. I might, but I don't know if I use it again. I start finding a few other trees that I think I end up liking better. Like these massive fir trees. Yeah. Or the fir trees, spruce tree. Oh, and there's our little pond. Got a little pond going. I think I changed the color of the water as well. Eventually, not yet. Yeah, I knew I got rid of that one tree. It was not the vibe. That was not the tree moment that we needed there. But we put in a number of these little ones. And a number of tinier ones as well. This one was fun to do because we can do many different sizes of trees. And just fill in the lot with as many trees as possible. And you leave a little driveway space there. Pop in a couple of bushes, shrubbery. I try and minimally landscape on this one, mostly because you know, I didn't want the whole build or lot to crash if anyone was going to try and play on this lot somehow. And you see me just wiggle those into that little awkward crevice where the wall is a bit. Just putting in some random shrubberies, making the whole place look a little overgrown, a little neglected, a little wild, not quite neglected, but wild. I tried to pick grasses that looked a little bit more dark. I don't think I end up going with those light ones. Yeah, no, I got rid of those. They're a bit too green. These ones are a bit more dead looking. So they felt appropriate. Throw in a few more of all of these little grassy shrubs. And I think one of the lot requirements, I don't remember exactly if this is a lot requirement or not, but I think I needed to put in a flag somewhere. And if I didn't, I think I end up just putting in a flag. because these types of little nature parks, they always have a state flag or a country flag or something. And then I've tried really hard to avoid using custom content for all of these builds. I was a little tempted to for this one because I wanted very specific windows, but I refrain. I do not use the custom content. These windows were actually really good. In hindsight, I should have used those. Spoiler alert, I don't use those windows. I also don't use these blue ones either. The blue on the outside is not the vibe. I believe I end up going with those ones. You know, they're nice and simple. They get the job done. They let in a lot of light. The blue ones were not the vibe for Ancient Basin or the Abyss. But these ones are nice. I'm going to line them all up. And then I think I put some down on the main floor as well, the second floor. Technically, this would be the upper floor, the first floor. We go with a simple door to let in a lot of light. I knew whatever doors and windows I picked for this build, they needed to be big, they needed to let in a lot of light. Because, you know, you always go to these parks and they've always got windows everywhere. So you can just look out and observe nature. And then I wanted to have one really simple little bathroom down the back. So we do a very simple bathroom. You get a couple stalls in there. And I chuck in a bunch of lights, some temporary lights. And then we have our basement space. I put lights down there for now just so I can see what I'm doing later. But they don't stay there. I do get rid of the lights. And I forgot that, so the upper floor I made taller. I made the walls taller. And then I had to try and look for matching windows that were the appropriate height for what was happening there. I think I started putting windows in here. I don't know why. I knew I wasn't going to keep windows there, but I was curious to see if they let light in at all. Allegedly they did, but they didn't change any of the landscape that I had done. I wasn't 100% sure what type of roofing. I do go with a lot of blacks and a lot of dark grays on this build. It is very much a black and dark gray building, which seems a little odd tucked into a bunch of nature, but here we are. And I mess around. I went with like more of a siding, like a wood siding at first. I think I played around with a bit of stone as well. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a half wall or a full wall. I come around to the back here just so I can see, properly see. And I was tempted to do that actually. Looking back at it, that doesn't look too bad. Spoiler alert, I don't keep it. And then I wanted to see if I could recreate it just by doing stone on the bottom as a full wall and wood on the top. I don't think I keep it. I might keep it, but looking back on it, I don't like that decision myself. So if that is the one I kept, then yikes, that's my bad. Oh, maybe I do keep it because there's a bit of stone on the columns and there's some wood. And then I wanted to do glass railings on this one to kind of go with the glass windows and go with that whole theme that, no matter where you looked, no matter what direction you looked, you could see through everything, you could observe nature. I guess this is a little bit more upscale of a nature park. I don't know if you would always necessarily put glass railings everywhere. And then you add in the trim. Yeah, everything is going to be very dark with this build. I ended up going with, I think, the rougher wood plank. It just seemed to fit, but on the interior I wanted to do a nicer wood or even like a tile. I might even go with a tile. Yeah, there go the tiles. Yeah, I'd go with that tile. I think I end up using the same tile on all of the levels. In the basement, I tried to make it as dark as I could. Oh, I do think I use one piece of custom content in this build, very specifically for in this basement level. I really tried to get it, as dark as I could, as dark and gritty as I could. And then I also wanted to incorporate a very specific feature that resembled the black egg and like the reflection that the little knight sees in the egg or the shell or whatever it is. I think it's an egg. A little broken eggshell piece. Yeah, and so these mirrors, these are custom content mirrors that I put in. And then I do a big... So the closer to the mirrors you get, the more you see the reflection. Otherwise, it's just very glassy. Really reminded me of the silhouette of the egg. So that is a piece of custom content. I don't remember offhand what content pack that's from. So I will link that in the description I'll have to remember to link that in the description. And I mess around with platforms down here. These were a bit of a struggle. So I couldn't just do it that way. Yeah, these were a bit of a struggle. And then I figured, oh, you just slide it. Slide it forward and then we're good. But then I had these walls up. I ended up leaving the walls in the back. There end up being a few iterations of what goes on down here. And I think there's still, I think the glitches that end up happening with the landscape maybe have something to do with the platforms. I think there are still a lot of in-game glitches with how the platforms work. I don't know. I don't do this professionally. This isn't my day job. But that's my working theory. And then I just went with the same. Actually, I think I'd go with a different tile down here. I wanted to do that tile because that felt a lot more, that felt a lot more abyssal to me. A lot more black egg-ish. That was definitely where I was getting my inspiration from. And then I figured this would just be like a little theater room, like they would show nature documentaries in here or something. So I tried to find some simple seating that would feel appropriate for the abyss. Spoiler alert, The Sims does not have good couches and things that would work for this. I go through a number of different couches. See, I've pulled these ones out from the spooky stuff pack. These ones are not good, and I can barely use them on the platforms. It was very frustrating. And then I could only use them in one direction. It was very, very odd. Yeah, I don't stick with these couches. This was not the vibe at all. This is not the mood. This is not the play. And then I was trying, I still haven't quite figured out where all of the different trims are for the platforms. I end up stumbling upon it, and I wanted a black one, but not one with a chunky border. I don't know if that's the darkest one I end up stumbling across, or if I find an even darker one. And I couldn't do that one because that one had a chunky trim. Yeah, I think I just end up going with these. That's not too bad. It sort of blends in a bit with the swirl of the marble. And I thought I'd do some half walls. I was really trying to make it almost like a movie theater. Yeah, see those couches come out. I think these ones end up being pretty alright. I don't know what was different about those couches. I don't think there was anything different. But here we are. And then those couches had a 2-seater equivalent, so I was able to do that a little bit easier. Leave a little aisle that people could walk up to the back seats from. This layout does not stay this way. Yeah, you can see this start to adjust just a little bit. I take those out. This also does not stay the same. I really played around down here for quite a while. And just put in as many seats as I could. So you can fit a fair number of people down here in these seats. And that's just a nice little detail that I like to make sure I do whenever I do a build. I did keep the walls down there very simple, a little bit more concrete. Tried to keep it very nature park-ish. You know, nothing too fancy, nothing too special. There was, oh yeah, so this was one of the lot requirements. I needed to have a grill. It couldn't be like a stove, it had to be a grill. And I didn't want to just have a grill sitting out somewhere. So I do hide it. I think by raising it up a little bit, I hide it right there in the countertop. I don't know if that works or not. I really don't know if that works or not. But it meant that I met the lot requirements that I needed. So we're just gonna roll with it. Doing your standard little bathroom here. One little sink, 2 little toilets, really simple, really plain Jane. A couple of bathroom doors. And then the stairs. I had to try and figure out the stairs to get down here somewhere, because I also knew I needed to do stairs to get down into the basement. These were a bit of a headache as well. Quite a bit of a headache, actually. And kept the glass railing. This is where it's going to become a bit of a headache if I start trying to do the stairs down into the basement here. This is where you will see the struggle. So what I end up figuring out that I can do is a little bit of rotation. So once I know that I can snap it to there, I do the rotation. And I wanted to then see if I could do one on either side. Another spoiler, I can't do a set of stairs on either side. So I end up just keeping this one set, but I do end up turning it around a bunch. We're gonna make it, I think, spin all the way around. I think we make it spin all the way around. But I wanted it over just a little bit more. See, and I didn't like how much room that took from the upstairs. That took up so much room. So I turned it around again. I was like, oh, this is perfect. This tucks right underneath the stairs from up above. I'll just put in a wall right here. You know what? That's probably where the terrain glitch happened outside, now that I think about it. But then this meant I could extend that going all the way back and do another platform back there. I don't think I do multiple platforms. I think I just do one larger platform. Yeah. And you might even see me pull those all the way over to the wall. Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I want to pull them all the way over to the wall or not. I definitely pull them all. Yeah, I pull them all over. It was weird to me that 3 of the walls glitched out like that. Oh, that's what I did. Okay, that was a good call. And then just repeat the same floor. Put in a bunch of curtains. Try and center them so that it doesn't look so weird. Wanted to make sure, yeah, see, the arm of that couch was really clipping into the stairs. And then the curtains were also clipping into the couches, and that was no bueno. So I mess around a bit with those. And then learn that I can now do this with all of them. So I just do this. So now you've got ample seating. Ample seating to show a nice nature documentary. And the little black egg area, little abyss area. And then up here, I knew I wanted this to be more like a nature museum type of area. Oh, and I didn't, this bit was annoying. I couldn't close things off there without, and I wanted to get rid of that awkward spot so bad. See, I really wanted to get rid of that awkward spot. I don't remember if I actually get rid of that or not. Yeah, and there's the terrain glitching out. Yeah, that was real annoying. That was a real problem. I don't think I get rid of it at all, actually. I think I just end up putting something on that spot. Like something decorative. Statue, maybe, or I don't know. And the railing definitely helps. Just sort of mark that off a bit. Yeah, so up top stays pretty bare, I think. There might be like a little bit of seating, but otherwise it's going to be pretty empty and open. Down here is where I really like go ham on the photos and things. And I wanted some type of like bear photo. And then that's supposed to be like a map of the park where you can check and see, oh, this is where I am. This is where I want to hike to. I knew that there were a number of, like there were these inspirational photos that would maybe work, but I also knew there were like a number of sciencey ones. I can't remember which pack they came with, but there was a number of sciencey ones. There were all of these like little nature ones, these little underwater nature ones. So I pull out all of the nature photos that I possibly can. You're gonna see me pull out a lot of nature photos, and then I find the ones that I was looking for. So a lot of these don't stay. And for some reason I thought I should size all of these photos up because I'm not going to have enough to fill the space. But as it turns out, there was more available for me to use than I originally expected. See, there are a whole bunch of artifacts here, and then I do come across, there's a oh right, and I put solar panels and I think wind turbines up on the roof. Yeah, so this is a little bit of like an eco lot. That felt appropriate to do for a nature place. And then these panels were being weird. I don't know why they would sit on the roof before, but not after. Yeah, I just had to get new ones and move them. And then the turbines did the exact same thing. It was really annoying. For some reason, they did not want to stay where they were. Now, I think I find the display. Yeah, see, that's the weird landscape glitch that happened. I think it happened when I tried to do the little cutout in the stairs. You see me put in a few of these. These are little bee houses, beekeeper huts. So you can like observe the bees in their natural little habitat. Little bee boxes. And I tried to fix, this is what I mean, it glitched right out on me. It was really annoying. So I have to fix that hole that's there. I end up just grabbing some trees. I think just a couple of trees and a little bit of grass and the flagpole. I don't know where I stumble upon the flagpole, but I stumble upon a flagpole. I darken the grass a bunch too. Do our terrain paint. Make the grass look darker. You know, I'm really learning with these build videos that I am all over the place when I'm doing a build. Oh, is this where I find the display cases? I think this is where I find the display cases. I was very specifically searching for... Oh, there's a periodic table. I don't know why I put that in. I don't think that stays. There are all of those rock samples too. I don't actually know how I come across it. Oh, and there was that community board. I thought that would be a good thing to have. On the lot, and then maybe like a speaker or something. Maybe a bike. There it is. Those were the display cases I was looking for. So I think I'm able to fit in, yeah, 2 of the display cases. I put them as dark as they can go. I don't think I end up keeping that periodic table. Unless it just sort of sits out somewhere randomly in the middle. It might. And then I just start filling these display cases with some samples of things. I think I tried to fill all of them up. Again, I didn't want to clutter the lot too much because I didn't want, like, if someone was going to download this particular build, I didn't want it to glitch out anywhere. But now I just start searching for things that could be very much like artifacts. And I think, like, I start seeing a couple of things. Oh, there's the flag. You gotta have your flag, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I start searching for things that could be like little artifacts that were maybe uncovered. I'm searching in the wrong category. I learned that eventually, and then I start looking for debug items now that I figured out debug. And then because I was in debug, I thought, oh, you know what? This will get me some... I'll be able to pull out some cars. I can put a couple of vehicles out here while I'm at it. So I get a little distracted and I do a couple of vehicles. People who have come out to the park for the day. A lot of the cars were a little bit too fancy, I felt. Like they maybe didn't suit this particular build, or they wouldn't necessarily be found in a park like this. Definitely needed a baby's crib. That's an artifact. You don't see any babies anymore. Yeah, I don't know exactly what I was looking for in debug. I don't find it in debug. There was an entire category of artifacts. See, there we go. I find a whole bunch of the rock samples, start trying to put a bunch of those in there. Got those fossils. I find the fossils. I'm going to chuck a bunch of fossils in. This is where I really start to find like a bunch of stuff. And I think, oh, these are all really, really good. And then I find these massive, like, rock things. I guess in game you would crack them open and uncover the geodes that you see me, like, putting out on display all kinds of places. And then I start finding the feathers. There were a whole bunch of bird feathers. And I thought they were going to be items that would sit in the display cases. Turns out they weren't. They went on the walls, and I got really excited about it. You can tell because I'm getting really excited about it. My voice again now that I'm watching this back. There were a lot of feathers. So many feathers. But it was cool because then it was like, oh, these are a whole bunch of different native bird species. These are bird species that you find all over the place. And so I just went through and found as many of them as I could. I think that might be all of them. Yeah, and then this was also where the more science-y photos were. This was the category that I ultimately needed to be looking in. This was where, I really hit the jackpot. So I decide, okay, this is going to be the bird wall. I move all the little bird feathers over here. We're going to arrange them nicely. I think there were 10 total, maybe? I mean, they're right in front of me. And then I just start moving them around, trying to make them look aesthetically pleasing. Nice and centered on the wall. And then we get back to the hunt here. And I end up finding, oh yeah, those were the scrolls. I put some scrolls in there. I don't know why I was going to put them there twice. There's no need to put them there twice. I'm scrolling past all of the science photos. Here we go. You ever watch yourself back doing something and you just wonder, what was I thinking when I was doing this? Yeah, we've got some space exploration ones. We've got some microscope shots of different, I guess, cells and things. Yeah. Oh, there's another scroll item. There were a whole bunch of those photos. I don't think I include those. And then I think there were maybe some fish that are on, the plaques. I ended up getting rid of a bunch of the space ones. I figured, this is probably a science-y place. So it would have photos like these little microscope ones. And I just tried to center things, space them out evenly, fill up the wall as much as possible. I think I end up finding a few more photos, though I don't think that's... I think I maybe find one more photo. One or two more photos. And then I did still want some type of like nature image. I was very limited, so I ended up going with the Inspirational bear poster. And then we throw in a couple of benches. I think at this point it's just benches and some terrain paint. I don't think I stick with those. Those are a little too fancy for this one. But I did try to go with... yeah, I think I'd go with those. Those seem good enough, at least for outside. And then it's terrain paint time. We've got a very cute little dog here coming in to check on everyone. You know Nala, she likes to be featured in all the videos. She's very wet because it was raining very, very hard today. She is still insanely damp. But insanely cute as ever. Oh, yep. I forgot to take her collar off before I started recording. So you get a lovely little jingle. Yeah, I tried to like smooth out a bunch of the terrain here so that there was a very obvious place where cars would probably park. And then I come back in with the terrain paint. Mess around with things a little bit, mark in a bit of a path. I have to readjust the paint underneath the picnic tables. I think that might be the entire build. Oh, and I need a mailbox. Because for some reason a lot of Sims builds need some type of mailbox. I just chucked in like a more rustic looking mailbox and tried to hide it in the trees a bit. But I believe that's it. I think that's the whole build. Oh, I tried to do some lot traits. Which ones did I do again? I don't remember quite which ones I did. Oh, there's a sciencey one. Science lair, I think. That one made sense. Something to do with eco. Do I do a challenge on this? Oh, gremlins? I did a gremlins challenge? Okay. Yeah, that's the whole build. So this is our Ancient Basin and Abyss combo. And it's a nature park. So you have your upstairs observatory. You've got your, I don't know, learning display. And then you've got your movie theater where you can watch your nature documentaries. And you can see the mirror kind of in action there, where it looks like it would be a bit of a window, but then you go up close and it's not. Yeah. This should be available for download. Thanks for joining. Be well.